You're paying thousands of dollars for nothing. Car dealerships, mechanics, and even automakers are still pulling off scams in broad daylight, and most drivers don't even notice. But you will after this video. Stick around because scam number 1 will absolutely blow your mind. Scam number 13, extended warranties with dozens of exclusions. It starts with a fear. What if something breaks after the factory warranty ends? That's exactly the fear dealerships tap into when they push extended warranties. They present it as the wise, secure, and essential choice. But here's the reality. You're paying $2,000 or more, upfront or rolled into your loan, for coverage that's often packed with fine print and loopholes. These plans frequently exclude major components, like transmissions, electronics, or suspension parts, unless they fail under very specific conditions. And guess who decides whether the claim qualifies? That's right, the warranty company. What's worse is that most drivers don't catch on until it's already too late. A mechanic tells them the repair isn't covered, and suddenly they're stuck with a $2,500 bill they thought would be taken care of. One ex-dealership finance manager admitted, "We were trained to sell warranties like they were insurance, but they're not. They're business deals, and they're written to win." So who profits here? The dealer gets a commission, the third-party warranty company gets your money, and you get maybe nothing. Takeaway: read the fine print or skip the plan. Scam number 12, fake engine covers, cosmetic dressing. Next, let's lift the hood and look past the shine. Today, most new cars come with plastic engine covers. They look futuristic and clean, but they don't serve any meaningful mechanical purpose. In fact, they do the opposite. These covers are sold under names like engine bay protection or thermal sound insulation, but they're really just cheap plastic panels. They cover up the clutter, sure, but they also trap heat, which is bad news for engine components. One mechanic on YouTube explained, "We remove those things as soon as they come in for service. They just get in the way. They're like putting a winter jacket over your laptop while it's running." This trick works because people like visual order. A clean-looking engine bay gives the illusion of advanced engineering, even when it's just smoke and mirrors. And no, they don't improve aerodynamics. They don't reduce sound in any noticeable way. They're there because it's cheaper to install a fake cover than to make the engine bay look tidy underneath. Takeaway: it looks high-tech, but it's all for show. Scam number 11, destination fees on new cars. Now, let's talk about one of the most frustrating and unavoidable charges you'll face at the dealership: the destination fee. This charge is added to nearly every new car invoice, usually labeled destination, freight, or logistics. It's supposed to cover the cost of transporting the car from the factory to the dealership. But here's the catch: you can't negotiate it, you can't decline it, and in many cases, the car is already sitting on the lot. So why are you still paying $1,095 or $1,495 even if you pick it up in person? Because manufacturers set the fee and dealerships pass it on without hesitation. The cost of delivery is already built into their distribution model, but instead of covering it themselves, they offload it to you. Car buyers in the US, UK, and Australia are all seeing this. In fact, in 2024, the destination fee on a Toyota RAV4 was $1,350. On a Ram 1500, it's over $1,895. And they just keep going up, year after year. One dealership insider put it bluntly: "It's profit padding. It's not about delivery anymore. It's about what people will tolerate." Takeaway: it's not optional, but it is inflated. Budget for it, but push back on everything else. Scam number 10, dealer prep or market adjustment fees. Let's say you finally agreed on a price. You're ready to sign. But then suddenly there's another charge on the paperwork. It's labeled dealer prep fee or market adjustment, and it's $1,500, $2,000, sometimes even more. So what's in it? Dealer prep usually just means washing the car, removing shipping plastic, and checking tire pressure, things the dealership should be doing anyway. It doesn't justify hundreds, let alone thousands, in extra cost. Market adjustment, on the other hand, is even worse. That's pure markup. Dealers use it when demand is high to charge over MSRP just because they can. In 2022, some Ford dealers charged up to $10,000 in market adjustment fees on the Bronco. By mid-2025, that extreme markup is rare, but significant markups of several $1,000s still surface on high-demand models, especially hybrids, EVs, and luxury trims. But here's the truth: it's not a tax, it's not a fee from the manufacturer. It's dealer profit, plain and simple. Takeaway, say no. These are made-up fees with zero value. Scam. Number 9. Car wash engine damage. Scare tactics. It starts with good intentions. You take your car in for a basic wash. Maybe it's one of those full-service stations at a chain offering free inspections. But while you're waiting, a technician walks up looking concerned. He says your engine's leaking, your air filter is black, and your transmission fluid looks like mud. They hit you with a rapid-fire list of repairs: a fresh filter, clean fluids, and sometimes even a complete system flush. Total bill? It could be $300, $600, or even more, on top of your $20 car wash. This is one of the oldest scare tactics in the book. These shops rely on panic and pressure. You don't know what you're looking at under the hood, and they're counting on that. They'll even bring out the dirty part, sometimes not even from your car, and point out damage that looks worse than it is. What's worse, these tactics often target young drivers, seniors, or anyone unfamiliar with how engines actually work. It's not just dishonest, it's predatory. As one independent mechanic said, if the first thing they bring up is a list of problems you've never noticed, walk away. Real shops don't diagnose during car washes. These upsells aren't always needed. Often, nothing's wrong at all. Some filters start to clog up after only a few hundred miles. Some fluid discoloration is perfectly normal. The goal is to get you to say yes on the spot before you can second guess. Takeaway: don't approve repairs on the spot. Get a second opinion first. Scam number 8. Subscription-based features, like heated seats. Next, we shift gears from the wash bay to the showroom, because some automakers are charging you for features you already own. You buy a new car, it has heated seats, advanced cruise control, or even remote start. You paid for the whole vehicle, right? Not exactly. Because now, some features are locked behind monthly subscriptions. BMW made headlines by charging drivers $18 a month for heated seats in certain regions. Mercedes introduced a one-time Talentuhan software upgrade to boost performance on its electric models. The kicker? The hardware is already in the car. You just can't use it unless you pay extra again. This isn't about installing something new, it's about flipping a software switch and charging you rent for it. Automakers say this allows flexibility and lets drivers choose features over time. But let's be honest, you're being charged twice, once when you buy the car, and again to unlock something that's already built in. As one software engineer who worked with a major car brand said, it's not a tech limitation, it's a business decision to squeeze every dollar from the hardware. So far, these subscriptions have mostly rolled out in Europe and Asia, but they're expanding. Some brands are even testing monthly fees for basic safety features. Takeaway: avoid brands charging you twice for the same tech. Before we break down the next dirty dealership trick, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss eye-opening truths like this. Scam number 7. Lifetime fluids that still need replacing. Now let's pop the hood again, this time for a different kind of lie. It's called lifetime fluid. Sounds good, right? You'll never have to worry about changing it. Wrong! Many modern cars advertise sealed transmissions, lifetime coolant, or even no-maintenance differentials. But ask any experienced mechanic, and you'll get the same answer. Fluids break down over time, no matter what the label says. Heat, wear, and time all degrade fluid quality. Transmission fluid especially loses its protective properties after about 60,000 to 100,000 miles, depending on how you drive. But some automakers never list a change interval, so drivers skip the service and end up with early failure. One master tech put it this way: the term lifetime is marketing speak. It just means until the warranty runs out. After that, it's your problem. In fact, some dealerships are quietly recommending fluid services off the books, even though the owner's manual says it's lifetime. Why? Because they've seen the failures firsthand. Replacing a transmission can cost $3,000 to $5,000, all because you didn't replace a fluid that supposedly lasts forever. Takeaway: lifetime is a marketing term. Replace fluids as recommended by an honest shop. Scam number 6. Misleading trim names. Fake sport models. For this section, let's talk about badges that lie. You're shopping for a new car and see the word sport on the trim level. You imagine tighter handling, a beefed-up engine, maybe paddle shifters or a tuned suspension. But when you drive it, it feels exactly like the base model. That's because many sport trims are purely cosmetic. The manufacturer adds a spoiler, bigger wheels, maybe some red stitching inside, and that's it. No extra horsepower, no performance tuning, no upgrade beyond how it looks. This happens across brands from economy cars to crossovers. The word sport doesn't mean what it used to, and they use it because it sells. It creates a sense of excitement, especially for younger buyers, without the company having to deliver real performance upgrades. A former auto product planner explained, "If we called it the SE trim, no one cared. Call it Sport, and suddenly it moves units." What you're really paying for is the badge, and maybe a stripe. Takeaway: if it doesn't boost performance, it's not really Sport. Scam number 5. Paint protection and nitrogen tires add-ons. Let's break this one down. It's 2 separate gimmicks wrapped into one expensive bundle. First, paint protection. This is often marketed as a ceramic coat or sealant. In reality, most of what dealerships apply is just a standard wax or a low-grade spray product that lasts a few weeks, maybe months if you're lucky. These are the same kinds of products you can buy at an auto parts store for $20. Dealers charge $300 to $800 for this alone. Some charge more, yet the application is usually rushed and the results fade fast, especially in sun-heavy places like California or Queensland. Second, nitrogen tires. Yes, it's true that nitrogen is more stable than regular air under extreme racing conditions. But for the average driver, the benefits are barely noticeable. Tire pressure still changes with temperature, and you'll still need to check and top up. Plus, air is already 78% nitrogen, and it's free at almost every gas station. So why push this so hard? Because these packages are high profit, the materials are cheap, the labor is minimal, but the markup? Massive. According to a former dealership service manager, paint protection and nitrogen are our easiest upsells. No one really knows what they are, so they rarely say no. Some dealerships even preload this into the paperwork, assuming you won't notice. Takeaway: total upsells. Ask for a price breakdown and decline what you don't need. Scam number 4. CVT transmissions marketed as reliable. Next up, let's talk about transmissions, specifically CVTs or continuously variable transmissions. CVTs are marketed as next-gen technology. They promise smoother shifts, better fuel economy, and a more modern driving experience. But what the brochures don't tell you is that many CVTs are failing early, and the repairs are brutally expensive. CVTs don't use traditional gears. Instead, they use pulleys and belts to simulate gear ratios. While this is efficient, it also creates constant wear and tear. Once the internal belt or pulley system begins to slip, it's game over. Some brands are worse than others. Nissan has faced multiple lawsuits over CVT failures in vehicles like the Rogue and Sentra. Subaru has also had issues in the past, though newer models have seen improvements. What's scary is that many CVTs start failing just out of warranty, around 70,000 to 100,000 miles. Replacing one can cost anywhere from $3,500 to $5,000, and they're often not repairable, only replaceable. An experienced Nissan technician put it bluntly, "CVTs are great until they're not. When they go, it's like throwing the whole transmission in the trash." Takeaway: if it's CVT, research reliability and check for extended warranties. Scam number 3. Buy here, pay here loans with predatory terms. Now let's move into financial territory where some of the worst scams live. You've got bad credit. You need a car now, and the dealership says, "We finance everyone." Sounds like a lifeline, but it's really a trap. Buy here, pay here (BHPH) dealerships target people with poor credit scores. They offer quick approvals, low entry costs, and no banks involved. But behind the smiles are interest rates as high as 29% weekly payments and GPS trackers that can shut your car off remotely. Miss a single payment? They can repossess your car in days with no grace period, no appeals. And here's the kicker: they often sell overpriced high-mileage vehicles at inflated prices. A $6,000 car gets sold for $12,000 with interest, and the buyer ends up paying nearly double just to stay mobile. One former BHPH sales rep admitted, "It's not about helping people, it's about selling junk cars over and over to people who can't say no. They make money on the car, then they make money on the loan. Then they repossess and do it again with another desperate buyer." Takeaway: if the loan sounds too easy, read every word twice. Scam number 2. Non-functioning vents, scoops, or exhaust tips. Now we're back to looks, and another scam built purely on appearance. You see a sporty car on the lot. It's got aggressive-looking vents on the hood, wide scoops on the sides, and fat dual exhausts. Looks like it belongs on a racetrack. But here's the problem: none of it works. The vents? Sealed. The scoops? Cosmetic. The dual exhausts? Sometimes they're just one pipe with a fake tip glued next to it. These parts are added because they look cool, not because they serve a function. They're meant to give the illusion of speed or performance, especially to younger or first-time buyers. Manufacturers know that looks sell. Adding these cosmetic touches costs them almost nothing, but allows them to market a car as aggressive, bold, or track-inspired. A mechanic in Brisbane summed it up like this: if there's no airflow, it's not a vent, it's decoration. You're paying more for something that does absolutely nothing, and in some cases, it might even hurt aerodynamics or trap heat. Takeaway: if it looks fast but doesn't do anything, don't fall for the hype. Scam. Number 1. OEM oil change upsell. You roll into the shop for a quick oil change. You're expecting to pay $40, maybe $50. But then the service rep leans in with a serious tone and says, "Your manufacturer recommends full synthetic oil every 3,000 miles. It's what's best for your engine." It sounds official, it sounds urgent, but it's not the whole truth. First, let's clear this up. Not every car needs full synthetic oil. Some do, sure, especially turbocharged or high-performance engines. But many modern vehicles are perfectly fine with synthetic blends or even conventional oil, depending on driving conditions. Second, the 3,000-mile rule is outdated. That advice came from the 1990s. These days, most automakers suggest changing your oil every 5,000 to 10,000 miles. Some go even longer with advanced oils and cleaner engines. So why push the full synthetic every time? Because it costs more, and the upsell adds up fast, sometimes doubling the cost of a routine visit. A former quick lube technician said, "We were told to recommend synthetic across the board. Most customers wouldn't question it. The scam works because it plays on responsibility. No one wants to be the person who skipped maintenance, but you're not helping your car by overpaying for oil you don't need." Takeaway: know your owner's manual before you walk in. You thought you were buying peace of mind, performance, or protection, but really you were just buying the pitch. These scams survive because they're dressed up to look legit, and dealerships count on you not asking questions. And if you like this video, make sure to check out our next one for more insights.